Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday. So, the other day I was scrolling through eBay because, that's what I do best. I spend a lot of my days, a lot of my time each day scrolling through eBay, either, checking messages, see if anyone sent me any questions or whatnot. That way I can respond to my buyers if they have questions for me. Um, I'm not really doing much buying anymore, so I've kind of squashed a lot of those habits, especially this summer while I kind of spent a lot of time fixing up my house and whatnot. So, but I did come across someone I bought from before, Bobby's Closet on eBay, and I do kind of. I am going to make this sort of a parody video, so anyone that doesn't know me or isn't familiar with my channel, I just want to make that abundantly clear. Yes, this is going to be a sort of parody video. I do know the value of these products. Okay, do not freak out. As you see the title of this video, it is. I'm not being sincere. Okay, again, this is sheer comedy, but it just goes to show you that you cannot go off the basis of how other people list their products. A lot of the time, you have to go on eBay, you have to go to past sold listings, because that's basically going to give you a general idea of the value of a lot of the items. That's why when you look at other people, buy it now, it doesn't really give you a good idea of what to list something for. Buy it now doesn't help you. You have to look at auctions. Somebody has a starting bid of $200. It does that and it sells for $200. Is that really a general idea of something's value? Not necessarily. I mean, generally, I prefer something to be a starting bid much higher than $1, because I have won so many great items because people are turned off. They're scared to bid on something when it's something other than $1. But you know what? If something starts at $1 and it's bid up $30, that basically tells you what the market is on the item. $100, that's the market. $500, etc. And so I came across Bobby's eBay page, and like I said, I bought from him before, once. Won't do it again. Not necessarily because it was a horrendous experience or anything like that. Even though the son of a gun does owe me $100, I'll talk about that later on. But because the man just overvalues absolutely everything, and if we were to go off of his listings as basically your blue book, I swear to God, I would be a multi-billionaire right now. So let's take a look at some of his listings, man. So here it is right here, Bobby's Toy Closet on eBay. And here are a couple of examples. And I'm going to scroll through. I'm going to look at some items. So here are some mint on card WWF Hasbro's Series 3 Ultimate Warrior figure. He's got a couple of them here. $1,000 for these Hasbro Series 3 figures. He's got another Ultimate Warrior Series 1 figure selling for $1,000. He's got a Hasbro water squirter selling for $1,000. He's got a Series 3 Hasbro Hulk Hogan, $1,500. A Series 2 Bear Hug Hulk Hogan, looks like it's at SummerSlam, $800. He's got one of those bootleg 10-inch Ultimate Warrior figures, $2,500. He's got one of those Star Wrestling Ultimate Warrior figures, $3,000. And I'm going to take some screenshots and I'm going to input them inside of the videos for you guys. And that way you can take a look at these and we'll be able to better discuss them. And I can give you guys some real pricing on these items, because I think I personally have overpaid on a lot of these items. And trust me, None of these are even remotely close to what any of these are being priced at. All right, folks. Now that we've taken a look at the pictures, we've seen the prices. Let's take a look at this monitor and take a look at the big one. So, Series 3 Hasbro Ultimate Warrior. Purple Trunks. Just like many action figure lines, they release many figures on different variations, right? There isn't just one single Ultimate Warrior. You've got Ultimate Warrior with many different variations in terms of language. So you have Ultimate Warrior on an English card, released in the United States. You have Ultimate Warrior released on French card in Canada. You have Ultimate Warrior released on Italian card, on Spanish card. So it looks like this one might be French, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. The writing's too small. So obviously, on English card is going to be the most coveted. It's going to be the most expensive. So this being I'm gonna assume that's a French card. This is probably going to be the least coveted of the Ultimate Warrior, and technically any foreign card is not really going to be that valuable. If this was going to be like probably on a Korean card, I don't think they even made Series 3 Ultimate Warrior on a Korean card. But for example, let's say they did. Now the Series 1 Ultimate Warrior in green trunks, that one is most certainly came on a Korean card. That would make the price of this figure a whole lot more. But the fact that this is a foreign card, this is about a $175 figure, and I think I am severely overpricing that figure at $175. Technically, for a Series 3 American card, about $175. The fact that this is a foreign card, this should be selling for around 125 to 150 bucks. And I think, again, foreign card, 150 $175 for me to put it at that height is severely overpricing it. For him to put this at $1,000, ludicrous. Who's he trying to impress? The Series 1 Ultimate Warrior, $1,000. I get it. Series 1, not even the most coveted Ultimate Warrior or action figure from the Hasbro line, but a lot of your Series 1 figures, Series 2, a lot of people are going to covet, especially in terms of Warrior. Back in 2021, 2022, a Series 3 Ultimate Warrior, for example, I could have seen a Series 3 Ultimate Warrior going for north of $300. 300, 350, absolutely. By today's market, it probably wouldn't go for 200 bucks. That's why I put it in 175 range. Ultimate Warrior back in Series 1 back in 2021, 2022, I could see that figure going for around 200 to 250. Today, you might get around $125 for it if it's in really great condition. But a lot of times you're going to see it with spider veins, it's going to see creases. It may not even go for $100 anymore. So like again, another $1,000. Now maybe he could have asked for a whole lot more if it was on a Series 1 SummerSlam card with the little hologram card in the back, but $1,000, not even close. How about this $1,000 squirter? Maybe I think one practically mint just sold on auction recently. I think it went for less than $50 on auction, and this was like within like the last week or two. $50, guys, and he's asking for $1,000 for this one. All right, so you guys seen my collection, and if I were to literally sell my collection off for the prices that this man is trying to get for his action figures, with the vast quantity that I have as part of my collection, I mean, I over exaggerate when I say I'm a billionaire, but I could literally become a multimillionaire overnight by selling off my collection. I would never have to work another day in my life if these were the legitimate prices. So do not buy into looking on eBay and seeing what other people, because a lot of people either A, they just do not know how to price their items. B, they overvalue their items. Like me, um, if I have a phone and I say, hey, I love this phone, I don't want to sell this phone, I overvalue this phone, I just simply don't want to get rid of this phone. This could be a $500 phone. If I put this up for sale, hey, I want to sell this phone for $1,500. Is it worth $1,500? No. Maybe the value of this phone is $500, but maybe I just simply don't want to sell it for that price. So, or if I take this candle and I say, hey, I value this candle at $25, but maybe this candle is only worth $3, etc. Something to that point. I'm thinking a lot of the time with sellers, that's exactly what it boils down to. They're putting their emotions into it and not really looking at it economically. Yeah, or simply see. This to me is what I think it is 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, I think people are just simply trying to showcase their collections. They have absolutely no intention on actually selling the items that they put up on eBay. They just want to showcase their collection. Maybe they put up 10 items and maybe one item is actually something they're legitimately trying to sell. But you showcase all of these amazing items and it puts eyes on your account. It brings in all of these interested buyers because, hey, it shows that you have all of this amazing product. So what are they going to do? They're going to subscribe to your account. They're going to follow your eBay channel, your eBay account, and they're going to continue to watch. And every time you add new stuff, bam, they can subscribe to you. They can bid on your auctions. It gives you more followers. So if he puts this up for $1,000 for an Ultimate Warrior, if it sells for $1,000, kudos to him. He just made an absolute. He just robbed somebody blindly. So, in essence, that's what it boils down to, and it's unfair to the unsuspecting buyer because, and I am a seller, okay? I want top dollar every time, but I will never rip off my buyers like that. If this is a $500 phone, I would love to get $500 for this phone. But if someone comes in with a fair offer, says, "Hey, I'll give you $450 for it," I'll take $450. I think $450 is fair and comfortable. I'll work with my buyers. So that's how I operate. Because what do I always say? Customer satisfaction. You work with them, they give you repeat business. You're more likely, by working with them, maybe taking a little bit off the top, off that first sale, you're more likely to get that repeat business and make more money and more sales in the future. So, how about this Hulk Hogan? Check this out. Hulk Hogan Series 3 from that second slide. Series 3 Hogan's $1,500. Now, I see that Series 3 Hulk Hogan, or I see this Series 2 Bear Hug Hulk Hogan Hasbro, $800. And I'm like, okay, are you marking it up because the man just died and you think that his stuff is skyrocketing in value? Or has these prices always been super high? I just think that's ridiculous. Now, the two Ultimate Warriors, the bootleg 10-inch for $2,500, or the, what is this, the Star Toys for $3,000. I might give the Star Toys for somewhere in the neighborhood of about $500 to $600, and I think that might be pushing it. The bootleg one, I might give it somewhere around 300 to 500. Again, I think that's pushing it. But where are you getting it in the thousand range? Your Series Two Hogan, because it's a SummerSlam, I might give it a couple $100. Maybe even I might even go 300 because it's a SummerSlam. Again, it looks like it's a nice card. The Series 3 Hogan, again, I might go a couple $100, even 250. He passed away. His merchandise is going up in value. I'll go up a little bit higher, but generally these are probably $150 to $200 figures. So I am going to pause here. I'm going to put up another couple of photos I want to highlight, and then I'll come back and give another assessment. Oh my God! These last couple pictures I just put up were these were pretty bad ones. The three Winston Toys Hulk Hogan erasers in particular, the fact that you've got three carded Winston Toys erasers of Hulk Hogan says a lot. How you're going out acquiring that many carded figures of Hulk Hogan alone speaks volumes. So this man is just not a collector, but um, he's actually someone that actually goes out and actually buys collections for the purpose of resale. So, and when people do that, a lot of time I kind of feel like it's in essence scalping, and I hate that. Now, I'm a reseller, right? And to me, there's a difference between a reseller and a scalper. Okay, so I don't mind resellers. I love resellers because resellers, they save vintage items from the scrap heap. But scalpers, they're like, people that rush to Costco and stuff like that, and they buy out 10 million Pokemon cards, and instead of this little 6-year old going to the store and buying a 50-cent pack of Pokemon cards, or I don't know how much Pokemon cards cost, but instead of buying that 50-cent pack of Pokemon cards, they're having to pay $50 for that single pack on eBay. Again, I'm throwing numbers out my ass because I don't know how much they cost, uh, but you understand my point, right? That's scalping. So, and that's the difference between a reseller and a scalper. And when I look at these prices, I kind of feel like that's what's happening here. So, even a carded Winston Toys Eraser of Hulk Hogan, it is a great collectible. I own all of them carded, and it's one of my favorite collections. Hulk Hogan Winston Toys Erasers on card is one of the most common of all of the Winston Toys. This is about $125 eraser on card. Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan on card, they're about the same price, about $125 on card. I mean, you would basically have to buy Roddy Piper and Wendy Richter together, mint on card, to pay $1,000 for the two erasers. So the fact that you're trying to get Hogan by himself for $1,000, absolutely ludicrous. The only way I can reasonably suspect that he's trying to ask $1,000 is that the man just died. Again, you're taking advantage of the man's death, and I think that's pretty scummy. Um, at the beginning of this video, I said that this video was a parody, and I'm not about going out and criticizing people, right? I sell. I don't want people coming at me and be like, "Hey, you're overpricing things or whatnot." this is your property. You have the right to ask however much money you want for something at the end of the day. I've always that's always been my feelings. But I kind of feel like a video like mine, this type of video, it's educational. I don't want people being taken advantage of, and I want to help, especially collectors in particular, especially new collectors. They find my channel, they find my collections, they find these particular type of videos. I want to make sure that they get the best deal possible, and that way they can save the money. They got $1,000 to work with. Hey, they know they could buy this, that, and the other, and they don't have to buy one item and basically be out $1,000, right? So, Winston Toys. If you're going out, you got $1,000 in pocket. I want to buy Winston Toys erasers. You could pretty much buy almost every single collectible, and you don't have to shell it out in one item. And then I look at this Star Toys Hulk Hogan. I have not seen one in this great condition, especially with these little posters, cards in the background behind him. So that's pretty incredible. $5,000, you're out of your goddamn mind. I don't care if this thing was signed, if the man passed away, if this thing was autographed, if this thing was 30 years old. $5,000, you can erase a zero off of that, and maybe we can talk. But at $5,000, no, I'm sorry. Now, the next photograph that you guys looked at, I posted 3 particular individual photos, and the first one was absolutely sickened me, and it was an individual tag team set of the British Bulldogs. The British Bulldogs LJN. These are loose, individual British Bulldog figures. And I think these are without tag team belts. I don't give a darn if these things came with tag team belts. I don't care if they came with their original poster. I don't care if they came with their original plastic insert that came with the box. Unless these things were literally inside the original box that it came with, poster, insert, championship belts, to ask $600 freaking dollars for that, you out of your I'm about to, are you out of your goddamn mind to ask $60 for those figures? They could be the most mint figures in the world. Whenever I have a pair of British Bulldogs, I mean, they could be crisp. I would normally ask about $30. 30 damn dollars for those 2 figures. And you're asking $600? Are they made out of solid freaking gold? I looked at that and that drove me nuts. I was absolutely livid when I saw that price tag. That tells me you have absolutely no freaking clue whatsoever what you have or how to price your items. And then, furthermore, I kept scrolling down, and I come across, I see, earthquake, or I see typhoons, Hasbro $600. I see LJN Jim Brunzell on card for $2,500, and I keep seeing all these other Hasbros, Papa Shango on card, and a Series 2 $1 Million Man, Greg Valentine $600. I see One Man Gang LJN $1,500, etc. I keep scrolling. I come across Johnny Valiant Series 5 LJN $800. All right, not an $800 figure, but let's talk about that one. You put a loose pair of British Bulldogs LJN at $600, but you put a carded Series 5 Johnny Valiant at $800, only a meager $200 more. I mean, at that point, you might as well say Johnny Valiant is a $1,500 to $2,000 figure based on your pricing, based on your Kelly Blue Book pricing. Hell, British Bulldogs loose are $600. Johnny Valiant's got to be a $3,000 to $4,000 figure based on your Kelly Blue Book rating. Shit, excuse my language. God damn. And I just chose one more additional figure before I kept looking at this, and I'm like, I looked at 60 items per page. I got through page one. I was so ticked off. I'm like, I'm done. So the last item I just looked at was the Mountie, and I think he was at $60, or excuse me, $600. I think that was the price tag. I'm like, you know what, I'm done. Uh, 60 items per page. I only looked at page one. You guys have a general idea of what this particular seller charges. I don't understand how this man never makes a single sale. And I bought from him before, and the very first, and I said first, so you obviously know I bought another one. The very first MOC Jimmy Snuka LJN I bought from Bobby's Toy Closet. And you see these prices that he sells for his LJNs? Yeah, I paid that price. So you can pretty much estimate what I paid. I bought a relative based on the listing. I bought a pretty spectacular mint figure. He reaches out to me not too long after I bought it, and he told me he had to pull it out of storage and that it was damaged. It had bubble lift, some bubble breakage, what have you. Asked me if I still wanted it. I was disappointed. At that point, that figure was going to complete Series 1 for me. This was way back when, probably, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I still wanted it. Um, and he said he was going to work with me. He was going to offer me $100 refund to cover the damages. I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. So, um, you know, I said I take it. He'd offered me $100. I'm like, hell yeah. Got the item. My dumbass left him positive feedback. Thinking that, hey, I got the item. And it wasn't the item I paid for, obviously. But I was working on the assumption that he was going to honor the agreement that, hey, if I took the item as is, he was going to refund me $100. Never happened. I left him his positive feedback before I ever was refunded. I'm stupid as hell, and man screwed me over. Gave me a deficient item and never gave me any money back for that inferior product. So uh, I wouldn't recommend this particular seller anyways. So am I making this video because of that bad? No, because if I ever wanted to talk badly about him, I mean, I would have made videos about him a long time ago, and I never have because, like I said, I got the figure I needed to complete that series. So it is what it is. I was just happened to be scrolling through eBay and I came across particular listing, and it intrigued me. I'm like looking at the price. I'm like, what? Why is it so high? And I was scrolling through his stuff and outrageous. I'm like, you know what? Wouldn't this be a fun video to make? Kind of show off some of the outrageous prices and be like, look, eBay sellers, we got to do better. We got to make sure that we're being fair with our prices. Um, but I'm a living proof that, hey, I can offer the best prices on my items that I have up for sale, and people are still gonna shortchange you. I had Hasbro figures up for sale where I've talked about this a million times. Like I could be selling. I could be selling a Series 2 Macho King for like $12. The next closest guy on eBay that's even remotely close to me selling on eBay could be selling it for $25, and I'll get a best offer for $4. I'm like, dude, my price is $12. The next closest is 25, and you're gonna offer me $4. Are you freaking insane? But those are the type of examples that I'm talking about. Where even when you're trying to offer the best prices possible, you still get shortchanged. But that's it. Maybe if you guys are interested in this particular type of video, I mean, I would like to go through his listing some more and see what else he offers and what his prices are. But that's gonna probably a series of videos because I don't probably want to go more than one page at a time. Until next time, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Talk to you in the comments and see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.